Doctor said the 6-year-old daughter of the 34-year-old millionaire wouldn't live more than 3 days. But a 12-year-old street boy changed her destiny. Drop a comment telling us where you're watching from and hit that like button. Subscribe so you never miss another story that'll move your heart. The antiseptic smell of St. Catherine's Hospital burned Marcus Stone's nostrils as he stood outside the intensive care unit, his $2,000 suit wrinkled from 3 sleepless nights. Through the glass window he watched his daughter Emma, just 6 years old, with golden curls splayed across the stark white pillow, her chest rising and falling with mechanical precision thanks to the ventilator. The machines beeped in a rhythm that had become his nightmare's soundtrack. Doctor Patricia Chen approached with the walk of someone carrying unbearable news. Her surgical mask hung loose around her neck, and the exhaustion in her eyes told Marcus everything before her lips moved. "Mr. Stone, we need to talk." "Don't!" Marcus's voice cracked. "Don't say what I think you're going to say." The infection has spread to her bloodstream, despite the strongest antibiotics we have. Her organs are beginning to fail. Dr. Chen's clipboard trembled slightly. "We've done everything medically possible. I'm so deeply sorry, but we're looking at 72 hours, maybe less." Marcus felt his legs weaken. 72 hours. 3 days. That's all that separated him from losing the only person who made his billions mean anything. Emma had been his light since the day she was born, since her mother Sarah had died bringing her into this world. He had promised Sarah he would protect their daughter. He had failed. "There has to be something," Marcus whispered, his hand pressed against the cold glass. "I'll pay anything, any amount, any experimental treatment, anywhere in the world." "It's not about money anymore, Mr. Stone. Sometimes medicine reaches its limits." Dr. Chen placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. "I suggest you spend these next days with her. Talk to her. She can hear you, even if she can't respond." As Dr. Chen walked away, Marcus slid down the wall, his head in his hands. The great Marcus Stone, who had built a technology empire from nothing, who had crushed competitors and dominated markets, was completely powerless. All his wealth, all his influence, meaningless. He couldn't buy more time. He couldn't intimidate death. The hospital corridor bustled with evening activity. Nurses changed shifts. Visitors carried flowers and balloons. Life continued as if the world wasn't ending. Marcus wanted to scream at them all. How dare they smile? How dare they laugh when his baby girl was dying? "Excuse me, sir?" Marcus looked up to find a young boy standing before him. The kid couldn't have been more than 12, skinny as a rail, wearing clothes that had seen better days, a faded superhero t-shirt with holes, jeans torn at the knees not from fashion, but from wear, and sneakers held together with duct tape. His brown hair was shaggy and unwashed, falling into eyes that were startlingly intelligent, despite the dirt smudged on his cheeks. "Not now, kid," Marcus said, turning away. "I heard what the doctor said." The boy didn't move. "About your daughter. About the 72 hours. Marcus's head snapped up, anger flashing. "You were eavesdropping. Get lost before I call security." "My name's Tyler." The boy held his ground, with a courage that seemed absurd given his circumstances. "I live on the streets. Been there since I was 9, and I know you probably think I'm just another homeless kid looking for a handout, but I'm not. I'm here because I can help your daughter." "Help her?" Marcus stood towering over the scrawny boy. "You're a child, a homeless child. What could you possibly—" "I have a rare blood type," Tyler interrupted, his voice steady. "AB negative with some special antibodies, real rare. I've been tested at free clinics. Doctors always get excited when they see my results, say they've never seen anything quite like it. One doctor told me my blood could fight off infections that regular antibodies can't touch." Marcus stared at the boy, his mind racing between hope and suspicion. "That's impossible. You're making this up to scam me. Test me." Tyler thrust out his arm, showing veins prominent from malnutrition. "Take my blood right now and analyze it. If I'm lying, throw me out. If I'm telling the truth—" He looked toward Emma's room. "Then maybe we can save her." Something in the boy's eyes made Marcus hesitate. It wasn't greed he saw there. It was determination mixed with something else, something that looked almost like guilt. Why would you do this? What do you want? Money? Tyler's jaw tightened. Everyone always thinks it's about money. Maybe I just don't want to watch another kid die if I can do something about it. Another kid? Marcus caught the phrase. My little sister. Tyler's voice dropped to barely a whisper. She died 2 years ago from an infection. I couldn't help her. The free clinic said she needed blood, but there wasn't enough time, and I was too young to donate enough anyway. I was 10, she was 4. I held her hand when she... He stopped, swallowing hard. I see your daughter through that window, and I see Lily. If my blood can save someone, I have to try. Marcus studied the boy's face, searching for deceit, for angles. He had spent decades in business learning to read people, to spot lies and manipulation. But Tyler's grief appeared genuine, raw, and unhealed. The kind of pain you couldn't fake. You're serious, Marcus said slowly. Dead serious. Tyler met his gaze without flinching. But I need something from you, too. Not money. I need you to promise that if this works, if I save her, you'll help me get off the streets, not with cash, with a real chance, education maybe. A way to make something of myself so Lily's death meant something. The request caught Marcus off guard. Not money, but opportunity. You're bargaining with me, my daughter's life? No. Tyler shook his head firmly. I'll help either way. I'm just asking if you'll help me back, but I'll donate my blood even if you say no. I won't let her die like Lily did. Marcus felt something shift in his chest. When was the last time someone had offered him something without wanting his money? When was the last time he'd met someone, especially someone so young, who actually meant what they said? If you save my daughter's life, I'll give you whatever future you want. I swear it. Tyler nodded. Then let's get started. Dr. Chen's skepticism was palpable when Marcus explained Tyler's offer. Mr. Stone, I understand you're desperate, but we can't just accept blood from a random homeless child. There are protocols, screenings, legal issues. Then screen him, Marcus interrupted. Right now. I'll sign whatever releases you need, run every test. If there's even a chance... Marcus. Dr. Chen rarely used his first name. Even if his blood type matches, even if he somehow has these magical antibodies he claims, a blood transfusion isn't going to cure a systemic infection. Emma's organs are failing. Her body is shutting down. But you said her infection was resistant to antibodies, Marcus pressed. What if his blood has antibodies that can fight it? What if there's something in his blood we don't understand? Tyler spoke up from where he sat on an examination table. The doctor at the free clinic said my blood had aggressive T cells or something. Said he'd never seen an immune response like mine. He wanted to study it, but I left before he could. Dr. Chen turned to Tyler, her expression softening slightly. Son, where are your parents? We need an adult's consent to take your blood. My mom died when I was 9, drug overdose, never knew my dad. Tyler's voice was matter-of-fact, empty of self-pity. I'm on my own. Been taking care of myself for 3 years. Then legally, I'll become his guardian, Marcus said suddenly. Temporary emergency guardianship. I'll have my lawyers draw up the papers immediately. Just test his blood, Patricia, please. Dr. Chen looked between the desperate father and the determined boy. Finally, she sighed. Fine, I'll run a complete blood panel. But Marcus, don't get your hopes up. The chances of this working are astronomical. Astronomical is better than 0, Marcus said. The next 2 hours felt like 2 years. Tyler sat patiently as nurses drew vial after vial of blood. Marcus watched through the window as machines analyzed the samples, his heart racing with every passing minute. He had never believed in miracles, never believed in anything he couldn't measure on a balance sheet. But standing in that hospital, watching a homeless boy potentially save his daughter, he found himself praying to a God he hadn't spoken to since Sarah died. His phone buzzed. His assistant, Richard. Sir, the board meeting is tomorrow. They need your decision on the merger. Marcus deleted the message without responding. The merger, the company, the billions, none of it mattered anymore. He had spent 6 years building an empire, working 16-hour days, missing bedtimes and birthday parties, all while telling himself he was securing Emma's future. But what good was a secured future if Emma didn't live to see it? Dr. Chen emerged from the lab, her face unreadable. Marcus's heart stopped. "Well?" he demanded. "I don't believe it," Dr. Chen said slowly, holding up a printout. "His blood type matches, AB negative. But that's not the remarkable part. Tyler, do you have any idea what's in your blood?" Tyler shrugged. "I just know I never get sick. Even living on the streets, sleeping in the cold, eating from garbage cans sometimes, never even get a cold. Your T-cell count is 4 times normal levels, and your antibodies." Dr. Chen shook her head in wonder. "I've never seen anything like this. Your immune system is extraordinary. There are antibodies here that we don't even have names for. If we could synthesize these, we could revolutionize infectious disease treatment." "Can it save Emma?" Marcus asked, the only question that mattered. Dr. Chen hesitated. "I honestly don't know. Theoretically, if we do a transfusion and his antibodies attack the infection in her blood, it could give her immune system the boost it needs. But there are risks. Transfusion reactions, her body rejecting foreign antibodies, complications from her already weakened state." "What are her chances without trying?" Marcus asked. "0. Dr. Chen met his eyes. "She has maybe 48 hours left." "Then we try," Marcus said firmly. He turned to Tyler. "Are you sure about this? They'll need to take a lot of your blood." Tyler stood up, rolling down his sleeve. "I'm sure. When do we start?" "Right now," Dr. Chen said. "But Tyler, this will weaken you significantly. You'll need rest, proper nutrition, monitoring. You can't go back to the streets after this." "He won't," Marcus said. "He's staying with me." Tyler's eyes widened. "You don't have to—" "I made you a promise," Marcus interrupted. "And I keep my promises. You save my daughter, you have a home for as long as you want it. No strings attached." For the first time since Marcus had met him, Tyler's tough exterior cracked. His eyes glistened with tears. He quickly blinked away. "Thank you," he whispered. They moved Tyler to a room next to Emma's ICU unit. As nurses prepared both children for the transfusion, Marcus stood between the 2 rooms, looking through the windows at these 2 kids who had never met but whose lives were now intertwined. Emma, pale and still, machines breathing for her. Tyler, thin and scared but trying not to show it, offering his blood to a stranger. The transfusion began at 11:47 p.m. Marcus watched as Tyler's blood flowed through clear tubes into his daughter's IV line, a physical connection between 2 children from impossibly different worlds. Tyler lay still, his young face tense as the needle stayed embedded in his arm, the machine steadily drawing his blood. He gripped the bed rail with white knuckles, clearly trying to appear braver than he felt. "You can tell me if it hurts," Marcus said quietly, pulling a chair between the 2 rooms so he could see both children. "It doesn't hurt," Tyler lied, his voice tight. "I've had worse." Marcus didn't want to know what worse meant for a 12-year-old living on the streets. He had lived such a sheltered life despite his own humble beginnings, and Emma's existence had been even more protected. She had never known hunger, never known cold, never known fear, until now. Dr. Chen monitored both children closely, checking vitals every 15 minutes. "Tyler's blood pressure is dropping slightly, but that's expected. We'll give him fluids to compensate. Emma's fever is still high, 104.3, but stable." "When will we know if it's working?" Marcus asked. "If we see any improvement, it'll be gradual. 12 to 24 hours before we see significant changes, if we see them at all." Dr. Chen checked Emma's chart. "The infection is in her bloodstream, her lungs, her liver. We're asking Tyler's antibodies to fight a war on multiple fronts." Tyler spoke up weakly. "My blood's fought tougher battles. Living on the streets, you eat things that would make most people sick for weeks. I ate moldy bread from a dumpster once and didn't even get a stomachache." Marcus winced. While he had been dining at 5-star restaurants, this boy had been eating garbage to survive. "You'll never have to do that again, Tyler. I promise you that too." "You make a lot of promises," Tyler observed, his eyes drifting closed from fatigue. "I keep them all," Marcus replied, though even as he said it, he wondered if that was true. He had promised Sarah he would protect their daughter. He had promised Emma he would always be there for her. Yet he had spent the last 6 years building a company instead of building memories. He had missed her first day of school because of a merger meeting. He had missed her dance recital because of a conference in Tokyo. He had promised himself he was doing it all for her, but maybe he had just been running from the pain of losing Sarah. The night stretched endlessly. Marcus sent his assistant away, turned off his phone, ignored the emails piling up. For the first time in 6 years, the company didn't matter. Only Emma mattered. And somehow, Tyler mattered too. This strange boy who had appeared like an angel or a ghost, offering hope when there was none. At 3 a.m., Tyler's body had given all it safely could. Dr. Chen disconnected the transfusion, and nurses immediately hooked Tyler up to fluids and gave him iron supplements. He looked impossibly fragile lying there, his already thin frame seeming to have shrunk even more. His lips were pale, his breathing shallow. He gave about a pint, Dr. Chen explained, which is actually quite a lot for someone his size and nutritional state. He needs rest, food, and probably several days of recovery. "He'll have it," Marcus said. He approached Tyler's bedside. The boy's eyes were closed, but his breathing suggested he was still awake. "Thank you," Marcus whispered. "No matter what happens, thank you for trying." Tyler's eyes opened slightly. "She'll make it," he mumbled. "She has to. Tell her Lily says hi." Before Marcus could respond, Tyler had drifted into exhausted sleep. Marcus stood there, confused by the boy's words. Tell her Lily says hi. But Lily was Tyler's dead sister. What did that mean? Marcus spent the rest of the night in the chair between the 2 rooms, his head swiveling back and forth like a watchman guarding 2 precious treasures. Emma's machines continued their rhythmic beeping unchanged. Tyler slept fitfully, occasionally crying out in his sleep, nightmares that Marcus could only imagine. At 6 a.m. something changed. Emma's heart rate monitor began beeping faster, and Marcus shot to his feet, panic seizing him. Was she crashing? Was this the end? He ran to the window, looking for Dr. Chen, looking for anyone, but then he saw it. Emma's eyes were moving under her closed lids. Rapid eye movement. REM sleep. She wasn't in a coma anymore. She was sleeping naturally. "Dr. Chen!" Marcus shouted into the hallway. "Something's happening!" "Doctor!" Chen rushed in with 2 nurses, immediately checking Emma's vitals. Her eyes widened as she read the monitors. "Her fever is down. 102. 1. That's almost 2 degrees in 6 hours. She checked the oxygen saturation. Her blood oxygen is improving. She's breathing better on her own. The ventilator is doing less work." "What does that mean?" Marcus demanded, afraid to hope. "It means the transfusion might be working," Dr. Chen said, and for the first time in days, she smiled. "It's too early to celebrate, but Marcus, her body is fighting back. Tyler's antibodies are doing something." Marcus felt his knees go weak with relief. He pressed his forehead against the glass window, tears streaming down his face. "Thank you," he whispered to no one and everyone. "Thank you." By 10 a.m., Emma's fever had dropped to 104. By 2 p.m., she was at 99. 8. By evening, she was breathing entirely on her own, and Dr. Chen removed the ventilator. Emma didn't wake up, but her color was better, the gray pallor of death fading to something closer to her natural peachy tone. Tyler slept through all of it, his body recovering from the donation. Marcus had nurses bring food and water to his room for when he woke up. He also called his lawyer and initiated emergency guardianship papers. Tyler would not be going back to the streets, ever. On the 2nd day after the transfusion, Emma's eyes opened. "Daddy?" Her voice was barely a whisper, hoarse from the ventilator, but it was the most beautiful sound Marcus had ever heard. He was at her side instantly, gripping her small hand. "I'm here, baby. I'm right here." "I had strange dreams," Emma murmured, her blue eyes unfocused. "There was a boy. He was giving me something. He said not to be scared. Marcus felt chills run down his spine. What did this boy look like? Brown hair, skinny, sad eyes. He kept saying someone named Lily wanted me to live. Emma's eyes drifted closed again, exhaustion pulling her back to sleep. Who's Lily, Daddy? Marcus couldn't answer. He looked toward Tyler's room, where the boy still slept. Was it possible? Had Emma somehow sensed Tyler during the transfusion? Or was it just a fever dream, a coincidence? Dr. Chen examined Emma thoroughly. Her infection markers are dropping rapidly. Whatever Tyler's antibodies are doing, it's working remarkably well. If this continues, she should make a full recovery. How is that possible? Marcus asked. How can one transfusion have this much effect? I honestly have no scientific explanation, Dr. Chen admitted. Tyler's blood is extraordinary, but what we're seeing goes beyond just exceptional antibodies. It's as if his immune system is communicating with hers, teaching her body how to fight. I've never seen anything like it in 30 years of medicine. Tyler woke up that afternoon groggy and disoriented. Marcus was there immediately. Emma? Tyler asked first, before even asking how he felt. She's going to live, Marcus said, his voice breaking. You saved her, Tyler. You actually saved her. Tyler's face crumpled, tears streaming down his cheeks. I saved someone, he whispered. I finally saved someone. Marcus pulled the boy into a hug, this stranger who had given everything to save his daughter. Tyler sobbed into his shoulder, years of grief and survival and loneliness pouring out. Marcus held him tight, realizing that maybe he wasn't just saving Emma, maybe Tyler was saving both of them. Over the next 3 days, Emma's recovery accelerated beyond Dr. Chen's most optimistic projections. Her infection cleared almost completely, her organs regained function, and her energy returned. By the 4th day post-transfusion, she was sitting up, eating solid food, and asking when she could go home. Tyler recovered more slowly. The blood donation had taken a serious toll on his malnourished body, and Dr. Chen insisted he stay hospitalized for observation. Marcus made sure Tyler had the best room, the best food, everything he needed. He also had his lawyer expedite the guardianship papers. You're sure about this? Richard, his assistant, asked during one of his rare visits to the office. Taking in a homeless 12-year-old? You don't know anything about this kid. I know he saved Emma's life, Marcus replied firmly. I know he gave without asking for anything in return. I know he's got more character than most adults I've met. That's enough. But your reputation can go to hell if it means breaking a promise to that boy. Marcus's tone left no room for argument. He's family now. Get used to it. On the 5th day, Emma was strong enough to meet her savior. Marcus wheeled her bed into Tyler's room, against hospital policy, but Dr. Chen allowed it given the circumstances. Emma looked at Tyler with wide, curious eyes. You're the boy from my dreams, she said immediately. Tyler looked startled. What? You came to me when I was sick. You said not to be scared. You said someone named Lily was watching over me. Emma tilted her head, studying him. You have sad eyes, just like in my dream. Why are you sad? Marcus watched Tyler struggle with his emotions. Finally, the boy said, Lily was my little sister. She died when she was 4. I couldn't save her, but I could save you. Emma was quiet for a moment, processing this with a 6-year-old's logic. Then she reached out her small hand. I'm sorry about Lily, but thank you for saving me. Daddy says you're going to live with us now. Will you be like my brother? Tyler looked at Marcus, uncertainty written all over his face. Marcus nodded encouragingly. If that's okay with you, Tyler said softly, taking Emma's hand. It's very okay, Emma declared. I always wanted a brother. Daddy, can Tyler and I watch cartoons? The innocent request broke the tension, and Marcus found himself laughing, really laughing, for the first time in days. I think that can be arranged. As the days passed and both children continued to heal, Marcus found himself marveling at the strange turn his life had taken. A week ago, he had been preparing to bury his daughter. Now he was preparing to bring home 2 children. The house that had felt empty since Sarah died suddenly needed to be filled with life again. But as Emma and Tyler grew closer, Marcus began noticing strange things. The way Tyler sometimes stared at Emma with an expression that wasn't quite brotherly. It was protective, yes, but also almost guilty. The way Emma insisted Tyler had visited her during her illness, describing details of their dream conversations that she couldn't possibly know. The way Tyler occasionally called Emma Lily by accident, then quickly corrected himself. On the night before they were all due to go home, Marcus found Tyler standing outside Emma's room at 2 a.m., just watching her sleep. "Can't sleep?" Marcus asked quietly. Tyler jumped. "Sorry, I didn't mean to. I just wanted to make sure she was really okay." "She's okay because of you." Marcus stood beside him. "Tyler, can I ask you something? And I need you to be honest with me." Tyler tensed. "Okay. Why did you really help Emma?" "The truth." Tyler was quiet for so long, Marcus thought he wouldn't answer. Finally, in a voice barely above a whisper, he said, "Because I owed her." "Owed her? You'd never met her before." "Not her, exactly, but someone like her. Someone I couldn't save." Tyler's hands clenched into fists. "When Lily was dying, when she needed blood, I was too young and too small to give enough. I had to watch her die because I wasn't enough. When I heard about Emma, heard the doctors say she was dying, I thought maybe this was my chance to make up for failing Lily." Marcus's heart ached for this boy. "Tyler, you didn't fail your sister. You were 10 years old. That wasn't your responsibility." "It felt like it was," Tyler said, tears silently falling. "She was my little sister. I was supposed to protect her, and I couldn't. I had this blood that could help people, and I couldn't help the one person who mattered most." "But you helped Emma," Marcus said gently. "You saved her when no one else could. That has to count for something." Tyler nodded, wiping his eyes. "It does. It really does. For the first time in 2 years, I feel like maybe Lily would be proud of me." Marcus put his hand on Tyler's shoulder. "I'm proud of you, and I'm grateful. And I meant what I said. You have a home with us for as long as you want it, even when Emma is all better. When you don't need me anymore." Tyler's vulnerability was heartbreaking. "We'll always need you," Marcus assured him. "Not because of what you can do, but because of who you are. You're part of our family now." The next morning, they all went home together. Marcus's mansion felt different with children's laughter echoing through its halls. Emma insisted Tyler's room be next to hers. Tyler stared in wonder at closets full of new clothes, shelves waiting for books, a desk for studying, things he had never imagined having. That first night, Marcus tucked Emma into her princess-themed bed, kissing her forehead. "I'm so glad you're home, baby." "Me too, Daddy," Emma yawned. "Daddy? Tyler is good, right? He won't leave like Mummy did." The question stabbed Marcus's heart. Emma rarely talked about Sarah's death. She had been too young to fully understand. "Tyler isn't going anywhere," Marcus promised. "He's your brother now." "Good," Emma mumbled, already half asleep. "I love him. Lily told me I would." Marcus froze. "Emma, what do you mean Lily told you?" But Emma was asleep, her breathing soft and even. Marcus stood there for a long moment, then walked to Tyler's room. The boy was standing at the window, looking out at the manicured lawn, the pool, the grounds that probably seemed like a different planet compared to the streets. "Tyler," Marcus said, "Emma just said something strange. She said Lily told her she would love you. What does that mean?" Tyler turned, his face pale in the moonlight streaming through the window. "I don't know. Maybe she's still dreaming about the things I said during the transfusion." "Maybe," Marcus said, but he didn't believe it. There was something else happening here, something beyond science and medicine. "Tyler, I need you to tell me if there's anything else I should know, anything at all." Tyler looked torn, like he was wrestling with a secret. Finally, he said, "Can I tell you something without you thinking I'm crazy?" "Yes," Marcus said immediately. "When I was donating blood to Emma, I felt connected to her somehow. Like I could sense what she was feeling. I know that sounds impossible, but I swear I could feel her fear, her pain, her will to live, and I tried to send her strength, tried to tell her not to give up. I kept thinking about Lily, about how I wished I could have saved her, and I felt like Lily was there too somehow, helping me help Emma. Now Marcus sat down on Tyler's new bed, trying to process this. The doctors said your blood is extraordinary. Maybe the connection you felt was real. Maybe there's something about you that we don't understand yet. Are you going to let them study me? Tyler asked nervously. Dr. Chen wants to run more tests, understand my blood better. But I don't want to be a lab rat. No one will study you without your permission, Marcus said firmly. Your body, your choice. Though I do think Dr. Chen is right that your blood could help others. When you're older, when you're ready, maybe you could donate to blood banks, help researchers develop new treatments, but only if you want to. Tyler nodded slowly. I'd like that. If my blood can save other kids like Emma, kids like Lily, then maybe all the bad stuff that happened to me was worth it. Maybe it gave me this for a reason. Marcus felt a surge of respect for this remarkable child. At 12 years old, Tyler had more wisdom and compassion than most adults. You're an extraordinary young man, Tyler. I'm honored to have you in my family. Tyler's eyes welled up. I have a family again, he whispered, as if testing the words. I actually have a family. Yes, Marcus said, pulling him into a hug. You do, and we're not going anywhere. As Marcus left Tyler to sleep, he felt a strange mix of emotions. Gratitude for Emma's recovery, affection for this brave boy who had saved her, but also unease. There were too many coincidences, too many strange connections. Emma's dreams of Tyler before she'd met him, Tyler's feeling of connection during the transfusion, the way Emma talked about Lily as if she knew her. Something else was happening here, something Marcus didn't understand, and he had a feeling the truth, when it finally emerged, would change everything. 3 weeks into their new life together, Marcus watched from his home office as Tyler and Emma played in the backyard. Emma was teaching Tyler how to do cartwheels on the lawn, her giggles carrying through the open window. Tyler was terrible at it, his lanky 12-year-old body still recovering its strength, but he kept trying just to make Emma laugh. Marcus smiled, but the expression faded as he looked down at the file on his desk. Dr. Chen had sent over Tyler's complete medical records from the hospital, and what Marcus read troubled him deeply. The scars documented during Tyler's physical examination told a story of abuse and neglect that made Marcus's blood boil. Cigarette burns on his back, evidence of old fractures that had healed incorrectly. Malnutrition so severe it had stunted his growth. But there was something else in the file that caught Marcus's attention. A note from a social worker dated 3 years ago. Tyler Morrison, age 9, removed from home following mother's fatal overdose. Child has 1 sibling, Lily Morrison, age 4. Children placed together in emergency foster care. Morrison. Tyler had never mentioned his last name, and there was a sibling mentioned, Lily. But the file said nothing about what had happened to her, just that the children had been placed in foster care together. Marcus's intercom buzzed. Sir, there's a Ms. Patricia Warner here to see you. She says it's about Tyler. She wouldn't give me more details. Marcus frowned. Send her in. The woman who entered his office was in her 50s, professionally dressed with kind eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses. She carried a worn briefcase and the exhausted air of someone who had seen too much human suffering. Mr. Stone, I'm Patricia Warner from Child Protective Services. I was Tyler Morrison's caseworker 3 years ago. She sat down without being invited, a boldness that suggested urgency. I saw a news article about your daughter's recovery and Tyler's remarkable donation. I need to talk to you about him. Marcus tensed. If you're here to take him away, I'm not, Patricia interrupted. I'm here because there are things about Tyler's past you need to know, things he probably hasn't told you because he's either blocked them out or is too traumatized to discuss. I know he lived on the streets after his mother died. I know he had a sister named Lily who died from an infection. Marcus kept his voice steady. What else is there? Patricia opened her briefcase and pulled out a thick folder. Tyler and Lily were removed from their mother's care when Tyler was 9. Darlene Morrison was a severe addict, heroin, methamphetamine, whatever she could get. The apartment they lived in was condemned. No heat, no running water, rodent infestation. Tyler had been keeping himself and Lily alive by stealing food from convenience stores. Marcus felt sick. How did no one notice sooner? Tyler was smart. He got Lily to a free daycare most days, kept her clean, made sure she looked okay. He was protecting her, hiding the situation because he was terrified they'd be separated in foster care. Patricia's voice was heavy with regret. We finally intervened when a teacher noticed Lily had a fever of 103, and Tyler had brought her to school anyway because he had nowhere else to take her. So they went into foster care together? Marcus asked. Yes, to a home in Newark. The Hendersons, a couple who had fostered dozens of children over the years. Good people by all accounts. Patricia paused, her face darkening. But 3 months after Tyler and Lily were placed there, Lily developed a severe strep throat infection. Mrs. Henderson took her to the emergency room, but by then the infection had spread. Lily developed septic shock. Marcus's throat tightened. Tyler said she needed blood. She did. The hospital put out an urgent call for AB negative blood. Same rare type as Tyler, but Tyler was only 9 years old and weighed maybe 60 pounds. He wasn't big enough to safely donate the amount Lily needed. He begged them to take his blood anyway. He screamed, fought the nurses, had to be physically restrained. Patricia's eyes glistened with tears. I was there. I watched that little boy try to rip the IV out of his own arm because he was so desperate to save his sister. Marcus could barely breathe. The image of 9-year-old Tyler, already traumatized and terrified, watching his sister die while unable to help. It was unbearable. Lily died that night, Patricia continued, and Tyler, something broke in him. He stopped talking for weeks. The Hendersons tried. They really did. But Tyler became violent, destructive. He attacked Mr. Henderson with a kitchen knife when the man tried to comfort him, said it was everyone's fault Lily died, that adults couldn't be trusted, that he should have protected her better. What happened then? Marcus asked, though he dreaded the answer. Tyler was transferred to a group home for troubled children. He ran away within a week. We searched for months, but he'd vanished into the streets. I always hoped he'd survived, but... Patricia looked out the window at Tyler, who was now pushing Emma on the swing set. I never imagined he'd end up here, saving another little girl's life. Marcus absorbed this information, his heart aching for Tyler. No wonder the boy had been so determined to save Emma. No wonder he felt he owed her something. He had been given a second chance to do what he couldn't do for Lily. Miss Warner, why are you telling me this now? Marcus asked. Because Tyler needs help, Mr. Stone. Professional help. The trauma he's experienced, watching his mother overdose, living in squalor, losing Lily, years on the streets, that doesn't just go away. He needs therapy, probably for years. And you need to understand that he might have moments when he struggles, when the past overwhelms him. Saving Emma was therapeutic for him, I'm sure, but it doesn't erase what he's been through. I'll get him the best therapist money can buy, Marcus promised. Good. Patricia handed him a business card. This is Dr. Sarah Kleinman. She specializes in childhood trauma and PTSD. She helped me with many of my difficult cases. Tell her I sent you. She stood to leave, then paused. Mr. Stone, one more thing. Tyler's blood. The doctors said it was extraordinary. They wanted to study it, understand it. I know. Tyler mentioned it. There's something you should know. Patricia's expression was grave. Tyler's blood wasn't always like that. When he first came into foster care, we had basic medical screenings done. His blood type was AB negative, yes, but there was nothing unusual about it. No special antibodies, no super immune system, just normal blood for a malnourished 9-year-old. Marcus stared at her. What are you saying? I'm saying something changed in Tyler's blood between when he was 9 and when he was 12. Something fundamental. The doctors couldn't explain it then, and I doubt they can now. But Mr. Stone, I've worked in this field for 30 years, and I've learned that sometimes, when children go through extreme trauma, their bodies adapt in ways we don't understand. It's like Tyler's body decided it needed to become strong enough to save someone, even if it was too late to save Lily. After Patricia left, Marcus sat in stunned silence. Tyler's blood had changed after Lily's death. His body had somehow developed extraordinary immune capabilities in the years he'd been alone on the streets, fighting to survive. Was it possible? Could trauma and survival instinct actually alter someone's biology that dramatically? He looked out the window again. Emma had convinced Tyler to try the monkey bars, and he was laughing as he hung awkwardly from the first bar, his arms trembling with effort. Emma cheered him on like he was an Olympic athlete. They looked so happy together, so natural, like they'd been siblings their whole lives, but Marcus couldn't shake Patricia Warner's words. Tyler needed help, professional help, and Marcus needed to approach it carefully without making Tyler feel broken or defective. That evening after dinner, Marcus asked Tyler to come to his office. The boy's face immediately showed anxiety, that ingrained fear of authority figures that years on the streets had reinforced. "Am I in trouble?" Tyler asked, standing stiffly by the door. "No, not at all. Sit down, please." Marcus gestured to the comfortable leather chair across from his desk. "I want to talk to you about something important." Tyler sat, his posture defensive. "If this is about me eating 3 helpings at dinner, I'm sorry. I know it's wasteful. Tyler, you can eat as much as you want. This house is your home. Everything in it is yours too." Marcus leaned forward. "I had a visitor today. Patricia Warner. She said she was your caseworker." Tyler's face went pale. "Is she taking me back?" "No, absolutely not. She came to help me understand what you've been through, so I can support you better." Marcus spoke gently. "Tyler, I know about the Hendersons. I know about the group home. I know you've been on the streets since you were 9. Tyler's jaw clenched. "Did she tell you about the knife? About me attacking Mr. Henderson?" "She did. And she explained why, that you were grieving, traumatized, feeling like you'd failed Lily." Marcus kept his voice calm. "Tyler, none of what happened was your fault. You were a child. You are a child. You shouldn't have had to protect your sister alone. You shouldn't have had to live on the streets. None of it was your fault." Tears streamed down Tyler's face. "It feels like it was. If I'd been bigger, if I'd been stronger, I could have given Lily my blood. I could have saved her. But you weren't bigger. You were 9 years old." Marcus came around the desk and knelt beside Tyler's chair. "Listen to me. What you did for Emma, that was extraordinary. That was brave and selfless and remarkable, but you don't have to keep punishing yourself for not being able to save Lily. She wouldn't want that." "How do you know what she'd want?" Tyler's voice broke. "You didn't know her." "You're right, I didn't. But I know she loved you. And people who love us don't want us to suffer forever because we couldn't save them." Marcus pulled out Dr. Kleinman's card. "I want you to talk to someone. A therapist who helps kids who've been through trauma. Not because there's anything wrong with you, but because carrying all this pain alone isn't healthy." Tyler stared at the card. "I'm not crazy. I never said you were. Therapy isn't for crazy people. It's for people who've survived things that would break most adults. You've survived more in 12 years than most people do in a lifetime. You deserve help processing that." Marcus placed the card in Tyler's hand. "Will you try it? For me? For Emma? For yourself?" Tyler was quiet for a long moment. Then, almost inaudibly, he whispered, "Okay." Marcus pulled him into a hug, and Tyler clung to him like a drowning person clinging to a life raft. They stayed like that for several minutes, Tyler sobbing out years of grief and fear and loneliness, while Marcus held him, wishing he could absorb some of that pain. When Tyler finally pulled away, wiping his eyes, he asked, "Can I ask you something? Anything. Why are you doing all this? The guardianship, the therapy, everything. You could have just paid me for the blood donation and sent me on my way. Why do you actually care?" Marcus considered the question carefully. "When Sarah, Emma's mother, died, I thought I'd never feel whole again. I threw myself into work, into building the company, because it was easier than facing the grief. I convinced myself I was securing Emma's future, but really, I was running from the present. Then Emma got sick and I realized I'd wasted 6 years. 6 years I could have spent with her, making memories, being her father, instead of just her provider. He met Tyler's eyes. You reminded me what really matters. Not money, not success, not legacy, just being there for the people who need you. You saved Emma's life, but in a way, you saved mine too. You reminded me how to be human again, how to feel again. So yes, I care. I care about you as much as I care about Emma. Tyler's lip trembled. I don't know how to be part of a family anymore. I don't know if I remember how. Then we'll figure it out together, Marcus said simply. One day at a time. Sarah Kleinman's office was nothing like Tyler expected. Instead of a sterile clinical space, it was warm and inviting. Comfortable couches, soft lighting, shelves full of books and games, a window overlooking a small garden. Dr. Kleinman herself was a woman in her 40s with gentle eyes and an easy smile. Tyler, it's good to meet you. Mr. Stone has told me a bit about your situation, but I'd like to hear your story from you, in your own words and in your own time. She gestured to the couch. There's no pressure here. We can talk, or we can just sit quietly, or we can play a game. Whatever feels right to you. Tyler sat stiffly on the edge of the couch. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. There's no supposed to. This is your space, your time. I'm just here to listen. Dr. Kleinman sat in a chair across from him, maintaining a respectful distance. Patricia Warner told me you've been through some very difficult experiences, but I don't want to talk about those unless you want to. We can talk about anything. How you're adjusting to living with Marcus and Emma, what you like to do, what makes you happy or scared or angry. Tyler was silent, his fingers picking at a loose thread on his jeans. Finally, he said, Do you think I'm broken? Broken? Dr. Kleinman tilted her head. No, Tyler. I think you've been through experiences that would challenge anyone, and you've survived them. That doesn't make you broken. It makes you resilient. But I attacked someone, Mr. Henderson. I pulled a knife on him when he was just trying to help me. Tyler's voice was thick with shame. That's not normal. You were 9 years old, freshly traumatized from watching your sister die, and you felt cornered and terrified. Your brain was in survival mode. Dr. Kleinman spoke matter-of-factly, without judgment. Our brains have a fight-or-flight response when we perceive danger. You'd learned through your experiences with your mother and in foster care that adults could be unpredictable, sometimes harmful. When you felt threatened, even if Mr. Henderson meant no harm, your brain chose fight. That's not abnormal for someone with your history. It's actually a completely understandable trauma response. Tyler looked up at her, surprise in his eyes. You don't think I'm a bad person? Not even a little bit. I think you're a young man who survived extraordinary hardship, who protected his sister as best he could, and who recently saved another little girl's life. Those aren't the actions of a bad person, Tyler. Those are the actions of someone with a tremendous capacity for love and sacrifice. Something in Tyler's chest loosened. For 3 years, he'd carried the weight of that moment with Mr. Henderson, convinced it proved he was dangerous, damaged, unfixable. But Dr. Kleinman was looking at him like he was just a kid who'd been hurt, not a monster. Can I ask you something? Tyler said quietly. Of course. Do you believe in, I don't know, connections that can't be explained, like spiritual stuff? Dr. Kleinman considered this. I believe there's much about the human mind and heart that science can't fully explain yet. Why do you ask? Tyler hesitated, then the words tumbled out. When I was donating blood to Emma, I felt connected to her, like I could sense what she was feeling, and I kept thinking about Lily, and it felt like she was there, helping me help Emma. And now Emma talks about Lily like she knows her, even though they never met. She says Lily talks to her in her dreams. Does that make me crazy? It makes you someone who's experienced profound loss and is trying to find meaning in it, Dr. Kleinman said thoughtfully. Grief can create powerful psychological experiences. Some people find comfort in feeling like their loved ones are still with them in some way. Whether that's actually spiritual or just our minds creating narratives to help us heal, I'm not sure it matters. What matters is whether these experiences help you or hurt you. They help, Tyler said immediately. Feeling like Lily was there when I saved Emma, it made me feel like maybe she forgave me for not saving her, like maybe she's proud of me. Then that's a beautiful thing, Dr. Kleinman said warmly. Tyler, healing isn't about forgetting Lily or pretending she never existed. It's about learning to carry her memory in a way that doesn't crush you. It sounds like you're finding a way to do that. They talked for another 40 minutes, and by the end of the session, Tyler felt lighter than he had in years. Dr. Kleinman gave him homework, writing in a journal when he felt overwhelmed, practicing breathing exercises when anxiety struck, and coming back next week. When Marcus picked him up, Tyler actually smiled. "She's nice. I'll go back." "I'm glad," Marcus said, relief evident in his voice. But that night everything changed. Tyler woke at 2 a.m. to the sound of Emma screaming. He bolted from his bed and ran to her room, finding her thrashing in her sheets, tears streaming down her face. "Emma, Emma, wake up!" Tyler grabbed her shoulders gently. "It's just a dream." Emma's eyes flew open, unfocused and terrified. "Tyler, the bad man is coming. Lily said the bad man is coming." Marcus burst into the room, having heard the screams. "What's wrong? What happened?" "Nightmare," Tyler said, but his own heart was racing. Emma had never had nightmares before, not since getting better. "It wasn't just a nightmare," Emma insisted, her voice high and scared. "Lily showed me. There's a bad man, and he's looking for Tyler. He wants to hurt Tyler because Tyler helped me. Lily said we have to be careful." Marcus and Tyler exchanged glances. "Emma, sweetheart, Lily is—" Marcus struggled for words. "Lily passed away. She can't talk to you." "But she does," Emma insisted. "She comes in my dreams and tells me things. She said Tyler has special blood and bad people might want it. She said to tell you to be careful." Tyler felt chills run down his spine. He had never told Emma about his special blood. Marcus had agreed to keep that information private to protect Tyler. How could Emma know? "Emma," Tyler said carefully, "what else did Lily tell you?" "She said you saved her brother by saving me. She said now you have a family again, but you have to protect it," she said. Emma's voice dropped to a whisper. "She said someone from before is coming, someone who remembers." "Remembers what?" Marcus asked, his voice tight. "I don't know," Emma whimpered. "I'm scared, Daddy." Marcus pulled her into his arms. "It's okay, baby. No one is going to hurt Tyler or anyone in this family. I promise." But Tyler saw the worry in Marcus's eyes, and he felt it too. A creeping sense that Emma's nightmare was more than just a dream, that somehow, impossibly, Lily was trying to warn them. The next morning, Marcus received a phone call that confirmed their fears. It was Dr. Chen. "Marcus, we need to talk. Someone broke into the hospital last night and accessed our computer system. They copied all of Tyler's medical records, including the detailed analysis of his blood." Her voice was shaking. "I've reported it to the police, but Marcus, whoever did this now has complete information about Tyler's unique antibodies. This could be very dangerous." Marcus felt his blood run cold. Who would want that information? Pharmaceutical companies, black market organ traders, unethical researchers. The list is disturbingly long. Tyler's blood could be worth millions to the right buyer or the wrong one. Dr. Chen paused. "Marcus, you need to protect that boy. And you might want to consider moving, changing your identity, something. Because whoever went through this much trouble to get his information isn't going to stop there." After Marcus hung up, he found Tyler sitting on the stairs, having overheard everything. "Emma was right," Tyler said quietly. "The bad man is coming. We'll protect you," Marcus said firmly. "I'll hire security. We'll increase our safety measures." "This is my fault," Tyler interrupted, his voice breaking. "I should have stayed on the streets. Now I've put you and Emma in danger." "No." Marcus sat beside him on the stairs. "Tyler, listen to me. We're a family now. That means we face threats together. You're not going anywhere, and we're going to get through this together." But even as Marcus spoke the words, he couldn't shake the feeling that they were running out of time. Someone was coming for Tyler, and Marcus had no idea how to stop them. That afternoon, Marcus hired a private security firm, former military contractors who specialized in personal protection. Within hours, the mansion was transformed into a fortress, security cameras everywhere, armed guards at all entrances, reinforced locks on every door and window. Marcus even had panic rooms installed in both children's bedrooms. Tyler watched it all with growing anxiety. "This is because of me. This is all because of me." Emma took his hand. "Lily says it's not your fault. She says you're special, and sometimes special people have to be extra careful. But we love you, so we'll be careful together." Tyler pulled Emma into a hug, this little girl who had somehow become his anchor to normalcy. "How do you talk to Lily?" he asked softly. "She comes when I'm sleeping," Emma explained. "She looks like me, but with brown hair like yours. She says she's happy you found a new sister to protect. She says I'm lucky to have you." Tears streamed down Tyler's face. "I miss her so much." "She's still here," Emma said with the simple certainty of a 6-year-old. "She's always watching over you. She told me so." The threat arrived faster than anyone expected. 3 days after the security upgrade, Marcus received an unmarked package at his office. Inside was a simple note. "We know what the boy is. Name your price or we'll take him anyway. You have 48 hours. Marcus immediately contacted the FBI. Agents descended on his office, analyzing the note, tracing the package, setting up surveillance. Special Agent Diana Rodriguez took charge of the case. "Mr. Stone, we believe this is connected to an international trafficking ring that specializes in rare biological materials. Organs, blood, bone marrow from individuals with unique genetic profiles," she explained grimly. "They've been on our radar for years, but they're extremely sophisticated. They usually operate overseas where legal protections are weaker." "What do they want with Tyler?" Marcus demanded, though he already knew. "His blood could be worth hundreds of millions. If they can synthesize his antibodies, they could create a new class of antibiotics, immune boosters, infection treatments. We're talking about a pharmaceutical goldmine." Agent Rodriguez's expression was grave. "These people don't negotiate. If they can't buy Tyler, they'll take him by force." "Then what do we do?" Marcus felt panic rising. "We set a trap. You agree to meet with them, wear a wire, we'll have agents everywhere. When they show themselves, we take them down." Rodriguez looked at Tyler, who sat quietly in the corner. "But Tyler, you'll need to be brave. We might use you as bait." "No," Marcus stood abruptly. "Absolutely not. He's 12 years old. You're not using him as bait. Mr. Stone, if we don't stop them now, they'll keep coming. They'll wait, watch, and strike when you least expect it. Tyler will never be safe." Rodriguez softened her voice. "I understand your fear, but this is our best chance to protect him long term." Tyler spoke up, his voice surprisingly steady. "I'll do it. If it means keeping Marcus and Emma safe, I'll do it." "Tyler, no," Marcus started. "I've survived 3 years on the streets," Tyler interrupted. "I've hidden from gangs, from cops, from predators. I know how to handle danger. And if these people are as bad as Agent Rodriguez says, they won't stop until they have me or until you stop them. So let's stop them." The plan was set for the following evening. Marcus would meet the traffickers at an abandoned warehouse on the docks, ostensibly to negotiate Tyler's sale. FBI agents would surround the building. Tyler would be in a safe house 3 miles away with Emma and a protective detail. Everything was carefully orchestrated, but the night before the operation, Emma had another dream. She woke screaming again, and this time both Marcus and Tyler ran to her room. "Lily says it's a trap," Emma sobbed. "She says the bad men know about the FBI. She says they're going to hurt Tyler anyway. She says we have to run." "Emma, it's just a nightmare," Marcus started. "No." Emma grabbed his arm with surprising strength. "Daddy, Lily is never wrong. When I was sick, she told me Tyler was coming to save me, and he did. She told me about the bad man stealing the hospital files, and he did. When Lily warns me, it comes true. We have to listen." Tyler felt ice in his veins. Agent Rodriguez said they were sophisticated. What if they have someone on the inside? What if they know about the plan? Marcus immediately called Rodriguez. We need to change the plan. I think there might be a leak. Mr. Stone, I assure you my team is completely vetted, Rodriguez began. Just humor me. Change the location. Change the timing. Tell only your most trusted agents. Marcus's voice left no room for argument. Rodriguez sighed but agreed. The meeting was moved to a different location, pushed back by 6 hours, with only 3 agents besides Rodriguez in the loop. The next evening, as Marcus prepared to leave for the new meeting location, Tyler stopped him. I'm coming with you. Absolutely not. If this goes wrong, if they get past the FBI, they'll come here for me anyway. At least if I'm there, I can see them coming. Tyler's jaw was set with determination. I'm not hiding while you risk your life for me. You're 12. I'm 12, and I've survived things you can't imagine. Let me help protect my family. Marcus looked at this extraordinary boy who had given him back his daughter and his humanity. Finally, he nodded. Stay close to me. If anything goes wrong, you run. Promise me. I promise. They left Emma with the protective detail and 2 of Rodriguez's most trusted agents. As their car pulled up to the new location, an empty parking garage downtown, Marcus's phone rang. It was one of the agents guarding Emma. Sir, we have a problem. The entire security system at your house just went dark. All cameras, all alarms, everything. We're implementing emergency protocols. The line went dead. It was a diversion, Tyler breathed. They never wanted to meet you. They wanted us away from Emma so they could take her. Marcus felt his world shatter. Emma! They raced back to the mansion. Marcus driving like a madman, running red lights, his heart pounding. When they arrived, the scene was chaos. FBI agents unconscious, tranquilizer darts in their necks, the front door blown open, and Emma's room ransacked, but Emma wasn't there. On her bed was a note. You should have negotiated. Now we have the girl. Bring us the boy, or you'll never see her again. Come alone to the original warehouse location in 1 hour. Marcus collapsed to his knees, a sound of pure anguish tearing from his throat. They had taken Emma, his little girl, who had just recovered from nearly dying, who had her whole life ahead of her. They had taken her. This is my fault, Marcus choked out. I should have sold everything and run. I should have taken you both and disappeared. Instead, I thought I could beat them. Marcus. Tyler's voice was eerily calm. They want me in exchange for Emma, right? I'm not trading you for her. I'll pay them anything. They don't want money. They want my blood, my DNA, everything, and they'll kill Emma anyway once they have what they want. You know they will. Tyler looked at Marcus with ancient eyes in a young face. There's only one way to save her. I have to go, but not to surrender. I have a plan. Tyler, you're 12 years old. You can't. I've been on the streets for 3 years. I know every trick, every back alley, every way to survive. And I have something they don't expect. Tyler's eyes glittered with determination. I have something to fight for now. I have a family, and I'm not losing my sister again. The word again hung in the air. Tyler wasn't just talking about Emma. He was talking about Lily, about the sister he couldn't save. This was his second chance, and he wasn't going to waste it. Rodriguez arrived with a tactical team, but Tyler was already explaining his plan. It was risky, possibly suicidal, but it was their only shot. Tyler would go to the warehouse as demanded, but Marcus would follow at a distance with the FBI. Tyler would wear a wire and a tracker. When he gave the signal, when he confirmed Emma was alive and located her exact position, the FBI would strike. You're asking a child to walk into a death trap, Rodriguez protested. I'm asking a survivor to save his sister, Marcus corrected, and I'm going to be right behind him. Tyler approached the warehouse exactly 1 hour after the deadline, his hands visibly empty, looking every bit the scared 12-year-old they expected. The building was dark, cavernous, filled with shadows and the smell of rust and decay. I'm here, Tyler called out, his voice echoing. I came alone like you said. Where's Emma? Lights suddenly blazed, blinding him. When his vision cleared, Tyler saw them. 5 men in tactical gear, faces covered, weapons drawn, and in the center, held by a 6th man, was Emma. She was gagged, her hands bound, tears streaming down her face. But she was alive. "Smart boy," said a voice with a thick Eastern European accent. The man stepped forward, tall, scarred, with cold eyes. "You trade yourself for the girl. Very noble, very stupid." "Let her go," Tyler said, forcing his voice steady. "That was the deal. You get me? She goes free." "Oh, we get you. But the girl, she stays too. Insurance, you understand. Your father will not call authorities if we have both his children." The man smiled cruelly. "Besides, perhaps her blood is special too. Same family, yes?" Tyler felt rage burning through his fear. "She's 6 years old. She has nothing to do with this." "She has everything to do with this. She is leverage." The man gestured to his colleagues. "Take the boy. Sedate them both. We leave in 5 minutes." As 2 men approached Tyler with a syringe, he caught Emma's eyes. She looked terrified, but also strangely determined. And then Tyler heard it, so faint he almost missed it. Emma's small voice, muffled by the gag, humming. It was a lullaby. It was the same lullaby Tyler used to sing to Lily when she couldn't sleep. How did Emma know it? He had never sung it around her. And then he understood. Lily had taught her. Somehow, impossibly, Lily had prepared Emma for this moment. The humming was the signal. "Now!" Tyler shouted, and multiple things happened at once. FBI agents smashed through windows and doors, flashbangs exploding, smoke filling the warehouse. But Tyler wasn't watching them. He was watching Emma, who had somehow gotten her hands free. The bonds cut by a piece of broken glass she'd found, and was running toward him. Gunfire erupted. Tyler grabbed Emma and dove behind a stack of crates. Marcus appeared from nowhere, shielding both children with his body. The firefight lasted less than a minute. The traffickers were outnumbered and outgunned. When the smoke cleared, all 6 men were in custody, and the warehouse was swarming with federal agents. But Tyler barely noticed. He was clutching Emma, both of them sobbing with relief and terror and a dozen other emotions. Marcus had his arms around both of them, his own tears falling into their hair. "You're safe," Marcus kept saying. "You're both safe. You're both safe." Emma pulled back slightly, looking at Tyler with her tear-stained face. "Lily helped me," she whispered. "She showed me where the glass was. She taught me your song so you'd know it was time. She's been protecting us all along." Tyler looked at this little girl, this sister who had replaced the one he'd lost, and felt something shift in his chest. Not the grief disappearing, it would never fully disappear. But it was transforming into something else. Gratitude, purpose, love. "Lily sent you to me," Tyler said, understanding finally. "She couldn't stay, so she sent you. That's why we're connected. That's why I could save you. We were always meant to be family." Emma nodded solemnly. "She says she's proud of you. She says you finally saved your sister." 3 months later, Marcus stood in his backyard, watching Tyler and Emma play. Tyler was pushing Emma on the new swing set, her laughter ringing out pure and joyful. The traffickers were in federal prison awaiting trial. Dr. Chen, with Tyler's permission, had begun carefully studying his blood to develop new treatments, but on Tyler's terms, with his full consent, treating him as a partner rather than a specimen. Tyler had started school, was seeing Dr. Kleinman twice a week, and was slowly learning to be a kid again. He still had nightmares sometimes, still struggled with trust issues, but he was healing. They all were. "Daddy!" Emma called out. "Tyler says he'll teach me to climb the tree. Can we?" "Not too high," Marcus called back, smiling. As Tyler helped Emma to the lowest branch, Marcus thought about the day his daughter was given 72 hours to live. The day a homeless boy had appeared and offered a miracle. The day their family had begun. Sometimes miracles came from the most unexpected places. Sometimes the people we saved ended up saving us right back. And sometimes Love was strong enough to transcend even death, connecting souls across impossible distances to create the families they were always meant to have. Tyler looked back at Marcus and grinned. A real, genuine, happy grin. The kind of grin that said he was finally home, that he was finally safe, that he finally belonged. And somewhere, Marcus liked to think, a little girl named Lily was smiling too.